to the 1995 July the 11th taping of It Happened in Grand Prairie. We're very excited today with our history tape number 253. And we have a very illustrious couple that we're going to interview today. They're long-time Grand Prairians, not natives, but have had a business in Grand Prairie, have contributed to the history of Grand Prairie in a significant way. And we're just so pleased today to welcome Dr. J.W. Nutt and his beautiful wife, Vera. Welcome, Dr. Nutt.
Thank you.
Welcome, Miss Vera.
Thank you.
We're just so glad to have both of y'all with us today, and you've been very important to many of the historical happenings in Grand Prairie, and you're continuing to make history because you've really made your home base in Grand Prairie, Texas, even though you have a second home away from this place. And we'd like to start your history tape, Dr. Nutt, with you. And if you would look out into your camera and tell us a little bit about the real Dr. Nutt. Give us your genealogy and name drop just a little bit about your folks that were important to you.
Well, we come from Sinton, Texas. From Taft, Texas, which I was raised in Taft, and my father was a night marshal there of Taft, Texas for a number of years. And and my mother worked at the hardware there in the Crystal area where they had all the gifts. And I was raised there and in and around that area.
And you were born in Taft, Texas?
Yes. No.
No.
I was born in Runge, Texas, out of Kennedy.
R-U-N-G-E, right?
R-U-N-G-E, yes.
Yes, all right. Now, give us your father's full name. Would you do that for us?
Pascal Ely Nutt, Sr.
All right. And your mother's full name, including her maiden name, please, sir?
Emma May Kendrick.
All right. That has you established as a family. And would you like to tell us the year you were born?
September 20th, 1923.
1923. That was a good year. Did you have any brothers or sisters, Dr. Nutt?
I had one brother. He was 7 years older than I was.
All right. And would you give us his name?
Pascal Ely Nutt, Jr.
Junior. Okay. Where does he live now?
He is dead. He died.
He's deceased.
Quite a few years ago.
All right. All of your family's deceased. You're an orphan like I am, aren't
Yes.
you? Oh, yes. Well, now, Dr. Nutt, and going to school down in that area, down near the coast, I would say, Taft and Sinton and Corpus Christi. Where did Dr. Nutt go to school? Where did you start school in elementary?
In Taft.
In Taft.
In Taft. And then I went to the service from that Taft.
From Taft.
Yeah.
All right. And in your schooling there in the Taft area, was there a favorite teacher or two or three that influenced your life, maybe that were movers and shakers that helped Dr. Nutt really want to excel? Or?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Would you like to name drop any of those?
I think their name was Fudge or something to that effect. It's been so many years ago. But she married a doctor there, which was our doctor, medical doctor at that point, at that time. And she was a very nice person.
Do you have any favorite subjects in school?
Recess, probably.
Recess and lunch, and PE.
Yeah,
those were your favorite ones. All right, and you mentioned that when you got out of school, you went into the service. Would you like to tell us what part of the service you were into?
I went into the Navy, and I went aboard the USS Northampton, which was a heavy cruiser, and she was sunk in Guadalcanal in a night battle in 1942, December 1942.
All right. Okay, and all of that good illustrious information about your military. We're going to get back with you in just a few minutes, Dr. Nutt.
Okay.
We're going to go to Vera now, and let's bring her sort of up to date. And Vera, would you look out into your camera and give us your genealogy, beginning with your parents, please?
Well, my father was Thomas Clinton Ward, and my mother was Anna Mae Andrews Ward. And we lived in Melvin on a farm and ranch.
And that is Belton?
Melvin, M-E-L-V-I-N.
M-E-L-V-I-N, and that's in what county?
McCullough County.
In McCullough County. Oh, that's exciting. Okay. I believe you're our first McCullough County candidate on our history show.
Well.
All right, do you have any brothers and sisters?
Well, I have 10.
You have 10. You're on name drop. Both of your parents are deceased, right?
Both of them are deceased, and all but 3 are living in the children now.
Okay,
So,
all
I
right.
lost some when they were very young,
Yes.
and then my others grown up, but I've lost
All
a
right, would
lot
you
in the
just
last
like to
year.
name your brothers and sisters and not tell us where they are, but and the ones
well-
that are deceased last?
The ones that are deceased last?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Then I don't have many to name then.
All right.
My older sister is Mary Agnes Newman,
Uh-huh.
and then Evelyn Ann Ward. Hewitt's her name now. And myself is the only 3 living children left.
Okay, all right. Now, Vera, you were born in what place?
Melvin.
In Melbourne. You were
I
born
was
in Melbourne.
born in the house that all the rest of my brothers and sisters were born in, and I also was married in that house
Oh, how exciting. All right, and where'd you go to school?
in Melvin.
In Melbourne. Melbourne.
Country school, but it was a good school.
All right, how many grades did you have at your school? 7? Or
Well, we had 11,
you had 11?
and I graduated before they put the 12th one in.
Oh, well, good.
See,
Right under the wire, right?
Yeah, right under the wire.
Okay, and then going to Melbourne to school, would you like to name drop some of your best friends or your teachers or someone that was very important to you as you were growing up?
Well, I had quite a few of them. Mrs. White was a very good teacher and really led me on to become better than what I would have probably done if I had not had her leading in the 6th grade.
Yes.
Then we had an agriculture teacher there that was just a great person anyway. Talmadge Woods was his name, so everybody knew him and liked him. And I can't think of the lady. Oh, Miss Johnson was her name, but I forgot. She was my 1st grade teacher.
Mrs. Johnson.
And I imagine she wondered what she had a hold of.
When she
In the
got some of you kids?
When she got us in the 1st grade.
All right.
'Cause,
What did your mother and father do for a living? Or if your mother apparently was at home taking care of all those cotton-picking kids, and that's wonderful. What'd your daddy do for a living?
well, he had a farm and a ranch, and he raised Hereford cattle, and then farmed and had sheep and all that goes with it. But he had a lot of land, farmland too, so he did both of them.
Did you ever have to do any chores?
Are you kidding? That's what I tell my kids. I said, every time I was 4 years old, I was in the kitchen baking biscuits at the
Yes.
cabinet because we all had chores we had to do.
You had a certain thing laid out that you did every day.
We learned to cook. We got up at the crack of dawn. So I'm
Well-
still a dawn riser now.
Yes. That makes it important, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. And after you left school,
I went to Abilene Christian College
all right.
and met the doctor there.
All right. We're going to get back to you in just a minute. We're going to
Okay.
hold you at Abilene Christian College,
Okay.
that's now ACU.
Yeah.
And we'll get back with you in a few minutes. Now, Dr. Nutt, we talked about your being in the Navy. Would you like to talk a little bit about some of the places you visited while you were in the
Let
Navy?
me say one thing first.
All right.
Talking about college, I was the first veteran in ACC.
Oh, you were? That is
In fact,
great.
it means they didn't know what to do with me up there when I got there.
I bet they didn't, Dr. Nutt. That's probably true.
When I was in the Navy, of course, Hawaii was our base at that time, and this was before the war. And I've been in Australia before the war on a goodwill tour, and Port Moresby, New Guinea, Rabaul, New Britain. And fact of business, when the war broke out, I was in the quartermaster gang, and we had been over to Wake with the Enterprise taking some planes over there, and we were supposed to come back and be there for Liberty that week, this next weekend, and so the Enterprise lost suction on our boilers, and that delayed us a good while and kind of upset us because we knew we was going to be late for our Liberty,
Oh, yes.
And then the Northampton got an 8-inch Hauser line wrapped up in a screw, and we knew we was going to be late then because
Oh,
we couldn't
my.
make it, you see.
Yes.
So we were very upset, but I was on the wheel the morning coming into Pearl Harbor, and that was December the 7th of 41.
Oh, that was a memorable occasion, wasn't it?
And that kept us from being in Pearl Harbor all these blessed accidents that we were having.
Yes, at that time there were accidents and they were delays, but it was a blessing to you that they were happening, wasn't
That's
it?
right. And
Yeah.
of course, we were all over the South Pacific, and we took Doolittle over when he bombed Tokyo. And so I was in 14 major engagements and 11 months on the islands, 34 months overseas, quite a bit of stuff like that.
Yes, that is a wonderful, wonderful military record, and I know that every time they celebrate one of these days, it really does bring it back to you because you were there. Now, let's talk a little bit about after you got out of the Navy, where'd they let you out of the Navy?
Well, I got out on a medical back in June of '44, and before the war was over with, and that's one of the reasons I ended up in Abilene to ACC.
All right.
And went on the GI Bill of Rights, and that's where I met Vera, as you know. And so after that, well, I didn't stay in ACC and graduated. I come back to Corpus, but I entered the chiropractic college.
All right.
And I was graduated from it in 1949.
All right, now the chiropractic college was located where?
San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas. So you migrated from Corpus Christi to all over Wake Island and all over the world to ACU, and then finally back down to Corpus Christi, and then back up to San Antonio to get into your schooling to be a chiropractor. What turned you in that direction, Dr. Nutt?
Well, of course, I had chiropractic when I was a kid, and I wasn't in the best of health when I got out of the service.
Yes.
And chiropractic was the thing that restored my well-being, and so I went to school and become a chiropractor. And
We're going to talk more about that in just a minute, more about your career as a chiropractor, but we got to get back with Vera. See, we still have her out at ACC, and here you are all the way up at a chiropractic school. Now, Vera, when you went to ACU, were you living in Melvin, Texas when you decided to go to school?
Yes,
Why did you decide to go way off to Abilene, Texas?
Well, my older sister Mary, and her husband both went to Abilene.
I see.
And he's a preacher. And that just influenced me. And then my other sister went for a while before she got sick.
Yes.
And that was the closest place to Melvin that just appealed to us. It wasn't that far from home.
Yes.
And so that was one of the reasons.
I always tell everybody I went up there and got her and put shoes on her and brought her back to Corpus.
Back to Corpus. All right. Now, Vera, when you were in ACU, what were you studying?
Bible.
Bible.
Just the general run of
Nature.
courses.
Just general?
Majored in, I can't remember if I had a major at that time. When you first go,
Yes.
you just take all the subjects.
General subjects.
Yeah, history and English and things like that.
Basics,
Bible.
basics.
Paul Southern was my inspiration out there, though.
Oh,
He
yes.
was a great teacher.
Any other favorite teachers or lecturers that you'd like to name drop from ACC?
Well, Walter Adams was a very good leader, too.
All right.
And I just don't, offhand, can't give you some names. It's
All
been a
right.
while.
Now, leaving ACU, ACC at that time, where did Vera migrate to then?
Well, I married the doctor.
You
After
married
one
the doctor.
1 year after going to school 1 year, we got married the following June.
All right, and you got married in that house you were born in Melvin. I think that is so wonderful. That's great. And from there, then you followed him all of these other places to the
Corpus,
chiropractic school and
San
all around the
Antonio.
Mulberry Bush. Tell me a little bit about following around after Dr. Nutt. What did you do while he was in school?
Well, before he went to school, we had our first daughter, Marcia.
All right.
And she was a baby when we moved to San Antonio, started chiropractic school.
Okay, so now we have one child, Marcia. Okay.
And he was going to school there. Before he finished up, I decided to take a course in x-ray and lab technician work at the college while he was going.
All right. Good.
A few hours a day, and got it when he finished. I was finished with my course.
With your x-ray and lab.
So I could help him in his office.
All right. And then after both of you all finished the chiropractic college in San Antonio, Where did we go, Dr. Nutt?
I opened up my practice in Sinton, Texas.
In Sinton, Texas.
It's about 18 miles from Corpus, and up over the one of the drugstores there.
Okay.
And
How long did you stay in Sinton?
I practiced from June of '49 to I think about March 51. And then we moved from there and up here in Grand Prairie and bought out Dr. Akers in the March or March of '51.
How did you hear about Grand Prairie, Texas? Why didn't you go to Houston or Abilene or?
We were looking for a place to go, and of course I was looking at the advertisement of these different offices. He was advertising for sale so that he could go back into service, I think. And so we come up and looked it over and liked the area. And in fact, Grand Prairie was, I think, about 15,000 people when we were moved in.
Okay. Where was your first office in Grand Prairie, Texas?
Exactly where that bell is, where the city hall is.
Where the Liberty Bell is located.
Yes.
Okay.
Next door to Tom Caldwell. You know
yes,
Tom Caldwell.
Yeah. Tom Caldwell has now moved over on Austrian or one of those
that was
wonderful
315
streets.
West Church. West Church.
It's 315 West Church.
Yes.
And the Liberty Bell and the City Hall Plaza is now located in the area where you had your first office. Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. Where did you have your first home here?
Well, we lived in the office and had an office and home combination there. And in 1953 or 4, we bought a place over on the corner of Grand Prairie Road and 14th Street on the corner there, and turned it into a home and office combination.
Home and office, yes. Okay.
And we were there until 1963 when I got Ralph Sargent to build me a building downtown, and then we moved downtown.
Okay, 1963, Ralph Sargent. Okay, Ralph Sargent built you a building across the street from City Hall.
City Hall.
Or the City Hall, what is now the City Hall Annex.
Next door to the fire department, what is now.
All right. And how long did you operate out of that office, Dr. Nutt, from 63 until
1963 to 1987, in which I sold my practice and retired in 1987.
Mm-hmm. Who bought your practice?
Dr. David Lowe.
Dr. David Lowe, okay. All right. And Vera.
Yes.
Now, during all of this time, when he's doing all this transition, were you always working with him in his office as his lab and tech person?
Well, off and on. By the time he got back down to Sinton after graduating college, we had our other little girl.
All right, let's name that one.
Barbara Diane.
Barbara Diane. We have 2 little girls already now. Okay. And so you took off a little while to get this baby Barbara Diane here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Barbara Diane was born in Sinton, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then you came on back up here and worked with him in his practice all of those years.
Then I had my son.
All right. And in what year was your son born, and give us his name?
Michael Dwayne.
All right.
He was born in 1954.
1954. All right, and here now you have 3 children in school, going to the PTA, doing all these things, and working in X-ray and his lab technician also, Vera?
Mm-hmm. After they all were in school.
After they were all in school.
Yeah.
Is Dr. Nutt a pretty hard taskmaster?
Well, he probably says I'm the hard taskmaster because I keep him working, but he likes everything just so, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty hard to work for.
Yeah.
But we enjoyed working together.
For those many years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now Dr. Nutt, now let's talk a little bit about your chiropractic practice. I know for many long years until your retirement, you were my personal chiropractor and also for the Jackson family in its entirety. I feel pretty good about chiropractic. How do you feel about it?
Oh, I feel wonderful. In fact, if it hadn't been for chiropractic, I probably wouldn't even been around here.
Yes.
But when I come out of chiropractic college, I had a technique that they taught there, which is the Merrick technique, is a general manipulation type technique, which at that time I didn't think was very efficient. So I took the Grostic work from Dr. Grostic out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, and it was a very specific work and very scientific work, and I worked with it for about 12 years and got wonderful results. And during that 12 years, I handled retarded children. I got a few of them started coming in, and I got such good results that it got around, and I was having retarded children from everywhere. Even the Dallas Children's Hospital, which was monitoring them, seeing how well they were getting along, and they started sending me patients.
Yes.
So I had very, very good results. And after that, well, I also went into the Gonstead work, which was another very scientific full spine work, and I still used that when I retired. But I was getting, after a few years using chiropractic as a doctor of chiropractic, your hands get to where they're having a little arthritis in them from all the abuse. And
Yes.
so I was looking for something that it was maybe not so hard on me, but still do the job on the patient. So we got into the activator work, which is a instrument adjusting work, and it's a light thrust instrumentation. And I really didn't, it really didn't work for me. And I researched it for a long time and finally got it working. And I actually taught 4 classes for the work that I come up with in '74. And I had doctors from Louisiana, Oklahoma, all over Texas coming in. And I still had taught it all these years individually since. But I've always done the corrective work, and I always wanted to excel in the work that I've done. So I always tried to do the best work.
All right, now Vera, along with all of this other good work you've done down at the chiropractic office, I know you've been involved in church, and you've been a Bible school teacher and all this good stuff. Would you like to tell us just a little bit about the other side of Vera, other than this technical x-ray person that you turned out to be?
Well, of course, taking care of my family was number one. Serving the Lord was number 2. And then I like to work around my house. I'm a yard person. I'm an outdoor person.
Yes.
So I have pursued that quite heavily. But just taking care of my family and enjoying my grandkids and all of the good things that the Lord has blessed me with.
And speaking of grandkids, did we bring a picture today?
Yes, we do have.
Oh, Dr. Nutter, you're going to hold up our picture here so we can get a picture of up and we don't have our monitor on, so we can't tell for sure whether that the light's going to be in it or not. Can you name the ones that are here, Vera? You kind of peep around the corner and let's get them in order.
This is my oldest grandson, wherever he is, right here.
All right.
That's Robbie.
All right.
And this is his sister, Jennifer.
Yes.
And this is Genevieve. And this is Robbie's little boy, so he's my great-grandson. And then this is Mike's little girl, Mallory.
Yes, how darling. Aren't they just wonderful? So that's the whole crew.
That's the whole crew.
That is wonderful.
Which we don't have a lot considering, but
yes,
we're proud of what we have.
We have one great-grandchild,
Well, I
which
told
is
you
a
that one right
great-grandchild.
yes, that's one great.
I didn't hear
Well,
what.
Dr. Nutt, you're not old enough to be a great-grandfather.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the children, where they are now, the ones that have spouses? Would you like to name drop them and
My children?
Yes, because we just attended your beautiful 50th wedding anniversary celebration a couple of weeks ago at the Turnpike Family Center, and it was just wonderful, and I want to congratulate you too. That is a mark of distinction. So I know you've got a lot to tell about these kids and grandkids, Vera.
Well, Marcia lives in Whitney, works in Waco at
All right.
Word Incorporated.
All right.
She's in the
Yes.
field of that.
Does she have a husband?
Yes, Dick Talashay,
All right.
and he's in the roofing consultant business.
All right.
And they are real sweet two people, and they gave us our two kids,
All right.
grandkids,
Name those two that belong to them.
Jennifer and Robbie.
Jennifer
And
and
then
Robbie.
Robbie gave us the great-grandson.
All right, and Robbie's wife. You would put her name in the record.
Well, he's not married right now.
All right, that's all right. But the
He was in
mother
the
of your-
military and overseas for a
Yes.
while, but he and his son are together.
All right, well, that's great.
And then the next one is Barbara Diane,
All right.
and her husband just died last year with cancer, and then she has the daughter Genevieve.
Yes. Where's Genevieve now?
She's right here in Grand Prairie.
In Grand Prairie, Texas.
Trying to go to school and work some too. She went to school in University of Texas at San Antonio,
Yes.
her first year out of high school.
Yes.
And Jennifer works at Dillard's and going to school, finishing her education at night and the days that she can go during the daytime. And Robbie is in Houston, and he works for the oil company down there and has a real good job and is going to college himself while he's working.
Oh, that is wonderful.
So they're kind of got their heads on straight.
Yes. And you,
Know
you
where
have
they're
them at
going.
least all scattered over
Yeah.
Texas. That's a blessing.
And Michael lives here in Grand Prairie.
All right.
He works for Arendelle Ford, selling cars.
Oh, wonderful.
And his wife, Maria, and Mallory's mother, she works out here at Windsor Plastic. And they have a wonderful family and going great guns right now.
Well, I saw Michael for the first time in a good while at your anniversary, and he's a very handsome young man. He's a very handsome young man. So I know you're proud of all of those 3 children and all of your grandchildren and that one great.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about that lake place. Now, we've been to your lake place, and why would a doctor of chiropractic that lives in a very pretty home in Grand Prairie, Texas, with kids here in the surrounding, ever move down in the middle of the cedars and all of that good stuff, Dr. Nutt?
Well, I would never move down there, but I have a place to go down there when I want to get away from things. But
Yes.
no, I wouldn't move down there. I don't imagine we'd ever move out of Grand